What is up? Facebook, YouTube, everybody streaming. We are back with another I Hate Adulting podcast live. And today, the subject is, are you an F boy or F girl? Which one are you? And do you plan on staying that way? So let's get into it. What do you think,
Oh,
Chris?
what do I think? What do I think? So, here's the way this goes. A lot of people, from my knowledge, what is a fuck boy or a fuck girl? I don't like drop F bombs. We'll just say an F boy and an F girl. What actually constitutes as this? Now, us men, we have it that if we are playing games, if you got multiple women, if you ain't got a job, if you can't be stable, but yet you tend to have multiple women that makes you an F boy because you can't commit to anything. And that's what we think that women say. You're a fuck boy if you're any of the stuff like Derek Jackson. To say for instance, as we all know, he's trending right now.
Mm,
Just being the fact that being a man, what made him a fuck boy is not the fact that he made books and taught women how to do themselves better, because his words can still be a standing tool for women to actually learn better and do better. But what makes him a fuck boy is just his actions in general. The fact that he had a woman, he had a committed relationship, and he just lied and cheated his way throughout the relationship. Not the fact that he gave advice and was a hypocrite. But
mm.
that's what I take as fuck boy. So what do you think it is? Let me
Well,
grab my tea.
the fact of the matter is, this Negro was preaching all this. Oh, you got to be good to your woman. You know, she's a queen. She's that. All while doing the videos after he just got out of a sex session with
Hmm.
his side chick. He in
Probably
her
good.
driveway talking about how you need to uplift the queens, but you just got finished smashing one 5 seconds ago, sir. No,
He
sir.
did uplift her. He uplifted her ass right in the air. He ate that snatch in midair and then got in the car and said, "Let me tell you how to uplift him." I just uplifted the shit out of one. That's what he
Yeah,
really did. But now, what do you think about? So, what do you think of female? Like, what's a F girl? What makes an
now
F girl?
I'm not gonna, sit there and just bash them. Well, I don't bash men anyway. I mean, I just bash them once to get on my nerves. But
Right.
a F girl does the same thing an F boy does. Basically, like, I mean, she can be evasive. She can act like, oh no, I'm just chilling with my homegirls tonight, all while she know she with Joe from down the street because he taking her to the club or whatever. Like, F girls do the same thing F boys do, and the problem
Mm-hmm.
is, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is y'all sit there. What kind of frustrates me when you're dealing with an F boy and an F girl situation is when an F girl becomes an F girl, then the F boy can't take it. It's like all she doing is pulling the you on you, and now you mad. I'm confused. What's the problem?
Well,
Equal
see, well,
opportunity.
well, well, well. No. Megan is what created this shit. I don't like to talk on the stallion, but what I'm saying is that city girls mentality. Now, my thing is, I don't believe, it's my belief that you cannot become a good girl's gone bad. I believe your motherfucking ass been bad and you
Okay.
tried to be good. That's it. Because
Mhm.
fuck boy and fuck girlism is just in you until it's nurtured out of you. And which I believe, a lot of times, a lot of people are nurtured into these learned behaviors from a kid. Like, if you don't raise a man the correct way or a female the correct way, of course they're gonna be fucked up. So
Mhm.
if you think about the word of a fuck boy or a fuck girl, it's just a fucked up person that has not grown up. That's the literally should be what the meaning of this is. So my thought process on this is that maybe that woman that we consider a fuck girl because she doesn't know how to be faithful. Because a lot of women don't. Some women don't have patience, or their patience is long, but they don't understand what patience really is. What is patience in a relationship? So if you got that female jumping out the gate like fuck that, I ain't get what I want out of him, so I'm gonna have three hymns that give me what I need, and the man doing the same thing. When you think
Right.
about the end of the day, it's two sexes doing the same immature thing, and what actually makes them like what
Okay, you having some bootleg Wi-Fi right now. I didn't hear that last statement.
that what actually creates that behavior from a standpoint of they had to start somewhere. Were they
Well,
birth fuck boys
I
and fuck
feel like
girls?
it's
Is
a
this
learned.
genetic?
Yeah, it's a learned behavior because if you don't have a good example of what you should be as a human, basically a decent human, let's be real. Because being an F boy and an F girl, that's like no one teaches you that. I don't think no one just grabs you by the hand and say, this is what you should be. Because if you're going to be a parent of any kind, you're not going to teach your child to be an F boy or F girl. What you are going to do is try to treat them the right way to do everything. Even if you're not a good individual, even if you know, like, no, I done messed up in my past, you're still going to try to guide your children in a better way and say, this is what you don't do. This is what you don't want to, how you don't want to live, because it can cause X, Y, and Z. So I think it's a learned behavior. It's not something you're taught. It's something you see and you like, oh, let me try that.
That's true, because listen, a lot of women don't know how to recognize a good man, and a lot of men don't know how to recognize how to keep a good woman. And see, that's the problem. See, in the dating world, we are literally struggling to understand who we are, and then we meet people, and we think we know who we are, and we want them to learn us, but we don't know us, right? So we get with people, and we think that, okay, you know what? They need to make changes. I need to make changes. And you don't know how to make the changes, so you say, fuck it. You throw your hands up because nobody's educated in relationship 101. And most people, if you look at a racial thing, a lot of black families are broken. Okay, a lot of black families are taught how to disassociate, argue, fight. Next thing you know, you got black families against black families I ain't talked to in months. So if I can't talk to my family once, and I'm cool with that, and I ain't got no daddy or mommy or any of these issues, what you think I'm gonna do with your ass? And we just dating.
This is true.
But I come from a long, lineage of disappointment, a long lineage of heredity of literally I'm inheriting nothingness. Nope, I'm inheriting instability because I'm raised in a poor neighborhood where we don't even know we're gonna be here next year because we all rent. If I could rent for the rest of my whole life and I have been moving from address to address, you're more apt to move from person to person. And a female, she's been doing the same thing.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I mean, because that does happen, but it's just like, at what point in time do you take responsibility for yourself and say, I don't want to be this way. I want to be in a healthy relationship. I want to be in the, traditional, like, been married for 40 years and, we still holding on. Like, you have to be the person to change that, because no matter what your environment is, you are a different individual. You can be that person to say, yeah, I'm not going to live like that. I'm going to be better than what that was.
I agree. For men, it's typically when you get gray pubic hairs. I'm just saying.
That's the problem.
This is when we get gray. We like, you know what, I can't Beijing these gray pubic hairs no more. So you know what, I'm gonna have to go ahead and settle down. Like most men be settling at 50, and y'all be calling us daddies because we got gray hairs and shit. And meanwhile, y'all reach your pinnacle at the age of 40. But men, we got 50s and 60s and shit. We still banging out 25-year-olds if you get what I'm saying. So women, I believe the reason why they're not more, there is less F girls and F boys, we should say, is because they're taught from a very young age. You only got from your 20s to actually have a baby to where you're not considered geriatric pregnancy. So what does that make you put up with? That makes you put up with being mistreated, and it makes you put up with the fact that you got to home in your fuckery. So you can't go and explore different men because you got all your 20s to have a fucking baby and 30s to make sure that you had that baby by 33 or geriatric pregnancy now.
Yeah, but what about? Okay, now question: what about them women? They ain't caring about having no kids. What if they just say, "I don't plan on doing that anyway, so I'm just gonna wild out my whole life."
Hoes will be hoes. You gotta remember this. You got fuck boys and fuck girls that literally have been groomed, but they want to do better, don't know better, and you got some people that's predestined and destined to just be dumbasses. That's just what it is. It's not even a choice. They literally, it's in their fucking DNA. It's in their DNA. Okay, they got tests for this fuckery. Okay, they got literally real life tests. If you have an IQ test, your intelligence level, right? And you got cardiac tests. You got all these tests to test all these different things in the person. Why don't they have a test for dumbassness? This motherfucker is capable of doing dumbass shit.
People, y'all be talking about the whole facts and all that stuff like that. Like, legit, I feel like they should come up with some like glasses before you meet anybody. Just put them like, all right, let me see his credentials. Okay, he's an F4 because he did this, this, and this. Okay, cool. Next, and then move on to nigga. If they can do that, the world would be a wonderful place. but you don't know you're dealing with an F-boy until you.
Derek Jack said.
Derek Jack said what?
My thing is now let's talk about Derek Jackson real quick, because we fuck Derek Jackson. Matter of fact, we just gonna talk about men that got a hard time with commitment in general. Okay. I feel like he is just one of many. He's just one of many. But the only reason why everybody's so effective because everybody believed in his words, because he was the one attractive black male that was putting no woman on high, because nobody fucking know the wife's name until this motherfucker was pregnant and they had got married. So I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck people bought them books to begin with. But, I've been talking about shit about Derrick Jaxn for a long time. Okay.
Let's be real. The only reason women bought into his BS, so to speak, is because he was an attractive dude. Because if he like truth. Now let's compare it to, we got the Kevin Samuel versus the Derrick Jaxn, right? Now, what if Kevin Samuels was the guy saying, "Oh, you're a queen, you're a this and that, whatever"? I don't necessarily think that his following would have been the same as a Derrick Jaxn, just because Kevin Samuels he's all right, but he's not a looker. He's just a dude that got on a suit. So it's like, okay. I mean, I appreciate you big upping us if that was his, spiel, but you don't really look like nothing. But a Derrick Jaxn is like, look, he got some muscles.
He can be faithful.
Tune in, right?
Right. They said no, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that I think that an attractive male was actually saying that, hey, women, I could take my woman out. I can keep my dick in my pants. So, and my thing is,
which is rare. How often do you actually see that? None, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been known to keep my dick in my pants for at least
2 minutes
into the relationship.
Only 2 minutes.
Now,
okay.
I ain't never been a minute man. I always been more than that. So I get my relationship at least 2 minutes. At least 2 minutes before I can. And that comes with him. See, 2 minutes. My thing is that improves in age with men. But like I said, a man, I think, going back to Steve Harvey, I think that sometimes men it's not about men being a fuckboy or not. What it is about they have not been exposed to a woman that makes them work hard enough to not be a fuckboy. Men are all fuckboys. There's been generations since the kings and shit, okay? Men that had concubines, wives, and wives, the Muslims have it all goddamn day. And my thing is, look, when it comes down to the come down, a man, it comes across that woman, which if he come across the right woman that he want to work for, that he feel like, you know what, and is a threat. If a woman is not a threat, and I mean, make him so sick to his stomach, like, yo, if this woman leave me, I'm gonna lose it. Then that means if he didn't think that, then that means when he got some ass and he cheated for 1 second after our relationship, he weighed and measured the worth. And he said, in this moment, because he ain't fucking stupid. Men are not dumb. Men will just slip into vagina. He said, go home or fuck this woman right here. You know what? Fuck them kids and fuck the house and fuck them bills and fuck everything that come along with this whole lifestyle. I'm gonna go eat this tonight. Any man that has a threat in his life, because a man wouldn't do that when it come down to work. And when I show up on time without telling my boss, hey, I'm running late, then why the fuck would you do that to your woman? Am I gonna sit up there, my daughters, if you're a real parent, am I gonna sit up there and say that we're gonna spend time and not spend time, or am I gonna cheat on you with some other daughters and take them out and do shit with them that I'm not even doing with you? Fuck no, it's a choice. So
absolutely, it's a choice. Now, what's the main factor that I guess a man would decide, I don't want to do this woman wrong? Because I don't see that happen. I'm not saying that it don't happen, but it's very rare when you see a man that's like, you know what, I know I could be a F-boy and I can, wild out and do whatever I want. I can get any chick I want, or I can, because I'm balling and I got the finances to support 15 if I want to. But what's going to be that it factor from that woman that's going to make him say, I don't want to do that to her?
I think when a man stops seeking acknowledgement is when he stops seeking acknowledgement from the woman or women in his life and validation, and seeks it within himself. I'll use an attractive male case in point that, okay, if I'm an attractive male and I'm dating you, and I done had several women in my time that get on my goddamn nerves, but I cheated on them. Now with you, looking for validation, okay? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, which you shouldn't be getting validation for being a faithful man, by the way, but the man wants the validation.
Right.
Okay. Right. Because you're doing what you're supposed to do. But we get into argument, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I got X, Y, and Z on my Facebook and my Messenger, and you gonna bring this shit to me, right? And then what a man does is that because he's not getting validated, because she is not adhering to the way he thinks, because I can get a whole bunch of women if I want to, then what he does is he puts this negative thought process in place, and it's called negative cognitive distortions. So if I'm over here thinking negatively, like, you know what, these motherfuckers don't even appreciate the fact that I don't even cheat on her with nobody, you know what, fuck it, I should just go do it, versus saying, you know what, not only does she think that I'm not cheating on her, not only should I not be cheating on her, but the fact that I'm not cheating on her should be what I should do, because I don't want to get hurt in the same way. So I shouldn't do it, versus that validation that men want to get. Okay. So
and then also what aggravates, I'm gonna say what aggravates me. I can't speak for all women, but what aggravates me is when you get to a certain age, there's a thing called choice, and when you take someone's choice away, that's what makes a person want to spaz out. It's like at the end of the day, if you grown, let's be real. Are you in a situation to just have fun and you don't want a relationship? Or are you trying to build a relationship? Are you trying to walk down the aisle? If you're not trying to do any of those things, that's absolutely fine and that's okay. But be man enough to say, I don't want X, Y, and Z, but this is what I do want. Because long and behold, if you tell the person the truth, they might be okay with your truth and be like, all right, cool, we can do that. But people are, well, I'm going to, from my point of view, men are so afraid to say their truth because they want their cake and eat it too. Versus like, nigga, they might have gave you the cake and the damn fork together because they might be okay with what you're saying. But the fact that you get caught up is when you lie and say, oh no, it's only you, baby. I'm only with you and da 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 da. And then when she bust the windows out your car and slice up your tires, you be like, what you do that for? Nigga, cause you lied to her.
See them Jasmine selling me. See them Jasmine selling me. That's crazy.
But I ain't never did that because the nigga ain't never been worth it to me. But what I'm saying is when you see women spaz out like that, it's typically, it's not because they're quote unquote all the way crazy, because they are a little crazy, but it's typically because you took their choice away. You lied to them versus saying, yeah, I'm dating you and 15 other girls. If you would have been up front, like, look, we just gonna kick it and I'm gonna do this or whatever. If you catch feelings, it's gonna be your own feelings, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not really gonna give these feelings up for you. Now, if you're okay with it, let's just ride this train. But if you're not okay with this is where I stand. What you want to do? Now, if a nigga will come to you and be that real with you, I can't see you being mad or getting to the defense where you want to swing on somebody if you catch him out in the street with somebody, because he told you up front, I ain't trying to be your man. So why won't you? Well, I ain't gonna say y'all. I can't speak for you because I don't know what you do, but the honesty is what's missing in relationships. Any kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship, just a hangout, but whatever. Honesty is the key because that gives me an option. If you take my option away, I'm going to give you one option. My fist upside your head.
Let's talk about these options. Let's talk about them options. Now, my thing is, now, everything you said pertains to when a man first meets a woman. That's what I interpret that as, because that's when you should put those expectations and those barriers and all that stuff up. If you have barriers to fidelity and stuff like that, that'll let you know if you should, what you should tell that woman. Yes, that's all well and true. Now let's talk about the fact that 90% of the time men don't do that shit, so the truth does come out, right? And they say the truth will set you free, or does it? Because if a man didn't give you choice in the beginning, he damn sure gave you choice when you found out the truth. So my thing is, what are you still looking for the truth from him when he told you the truth? And why is Derek Jackson's wife still holding his hand when he not only gave the truth in his writings and in his videos and in his audio, but he also gave you the truth face to face when you found out about everything that's going on? So if you ain't never known before, you know now. So now my thing is, where do women take the responsibility and say, you know what? He told me one thing, he showed me another, and then he told me another thing, and now I got to show him. Or is it that I just keep letting him hold the power and I let him keep showing me and telling me what I'm going to do for me? Or when does that happen?
He keeps showing her his ass and she keep kissing it, and that's her problem. Because at the end of the day, when he didn't tell her, he got caught. That's the difference. It's one thing for you to verbally tell me.
No, he told her. He told her.
When he told her?
The minute he got caught.
Wait a minute. So you tell him he told her, yeah, I've been sleeping with 20 different women. I've been knocking bitches' ankles loose. And are you okay with that? He did not tell her that. He got caught. That's the difference.
No, that's what I'm saying. And no, there is no difference. If I tell you up front and then you catch me either way, I told you that. What are you going to do about it? Regardless if I didn't give you an option in the beginning, you have an option today. So what do most women do in those times? You tell me the typical thing. I wasn't worried. I knew that his wife wasn't going nowhere. I knew it. I don't know why people were surprised.
Listen, the bonnet told you why she wasn't going nowhere. Look.
First of all, don't disrespect that queen. That is a hat. Okay, ugly ass.
First of all, and she was smart. She would start her own bonnet line and start selling them bitches, because I know her goddamn followers went up to at least 50K from this nonsense. So if she want to be smart, use your Derek Jackson debacle and get some coins, sis. Because look, if it was me, I would be like smiling, yeah, but we gonna stay together. We gonna make sure you get everything in his name and switch it over to my account. Okay, yes, boo, nigga, work your plan and plan your work. Because there is no way in hell you're going to embarrass me publicly, privately, and have me scared that I might have an STD. Hey, how you doing?
Woo! Yeah, well, guess what? Beyonce did it. Motherfucking Halle Berry fucking did it. Let's talk about all the women that have been publicly embarrassed by their men, and they are celebrities. They can get any man in this world. Let me tell you something. Listen, it don't matter who you are, what cis you are. At the end of the fucking day, emotions and that femininity that you have deep down in you that you were birth that's your birthright. I'm telling you now, that shit will kick in, and it don't matter who the fuck it is. It don't matter how much money they got or how broke they are. Hey, Pete Sony, I don't know who that is. Hey, thanks for joining in. But what I'll say is, it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, that woman still has those emotions. That what would the Beyonce call it? Resentful? Was that resentment? That was her song.
Yeah.
Everybody, resentment was the song that everybody was like, wow, what was that about? And it was like, that was just a movie. Me, on the other hand, I said, you goddamn lie. I said, there's more than that shit. Then next thing you know, Lemonade come out. First of all, that resentment was approximately about 5 years prior to that Lemonade album. 5 to 6 years. She been going through the hurt. She been looking for this man. That was just her outward cry. So my thing is, what will make a celebrity who knows damn well she got choices put up with such a behavior? And it doesn't make sense. What it is, at the end of the day, Beyonce has daddy issues. Check. She's seen that man disrespect her mother. Check. She's seen a lot of stuff that a lot of young girls see and just don't come out with it. So her response, that man doing that to her, was the same way her response was to her father doing that to her mother. Her mother keep going on until she couldn't take it no more. So, when you look at it, it's a pattern, it's learned behavior. And this is what makes the world go around with negative and toxic relationships between men and women. So, at the end of the day, Derrick Jackson is not the toxic one here. He's not just the toxic one here. Who is also the toxic one?
I didn't hear this because he's very toxic.
No, he's not. What I mean by that, he's not the toxic one in here. It's everybody is toxic here. The wife is toxic because her mentality to put up with that nonsense, that's toxicity that she put in her mind, that she reversed and said, this is what you should do as a clean woman of God, because you think that that's what you should put up with. Just no different than a woman saying, my mama told me that this man take care of kids, so if he take care of the home, I should be cheating on me and not coming home when he wasn't supposed to, when he coming home when he's not supposed to, because he's taking care of his kids and he's taking care of his household. The old 30s mentality, there's no difference in that mentality from what she's doing. So at the end of the day, because she doesn't know her worth, that's self-induced and toxicity. And then the women that knew that what was going on, they knew that no matter what, he wasn't separated. He wasn't, not even about a separation, he wasn't divorced. Period. So he's not divorced.
Not all the women knew, because for the most part, from what I've seen, the women were saying, well, no, he was saying he was, divorced, or so he lied to everyone, not just his wife. So now,
right, is one that's all. That's okay. Now, because the excuse, and I hear what you're saying, I gotta cut you real quick, but the excuse is that when Cardi B went to file a divorce, she didn't even file it. That shit's public knowledge. Sis, if you see a man named Derrick Jackson with a name like him, he's not a regular individual. You can check up on that. Oh, you divorced, go check up on it. Where's the receipts at? So where is the women's due diligence to protect themselves from some bullshit?
No, this is very true now. But y'all the same one. Don't be going through somebody's phone. Don't be like, why you doing, like, you doing too much? You don't trust me? You got trust issues? Hell, yeah, I got trust issues. If I feel like I'm feeling you to a certain degree and I really don't think that you on the up and up, yeah, I am going to Google the fuck out you and I'm going to try to figure out what's what. Now, I don't know if I would go as far as trying to look up your public records if you're married or not, because I would take someone telling me that they're single at face value. If I don't see a ring on your finger and you're not showing me any way where I feel like, nah, he probably married because he moved a funny way, then I'm not going to think to Google or try to figure out if you're married or not. Because if you're telling me, no, I'm single, I'm this and that, whatever, and there's no evidence telling me otherwise that he may be lying, I'm not looking for marriage records. Now, if I find out there is one, then, that's a whole nother issue. But that is not what I'm going to do when I meet a man. I'm not going to say, well, before I get serious about him, let me Google and see if he got a marriage record. Like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about trying to get to know you as a human being first before I start feeling like, let me see if I can trust you or not. It's like, because I don't even know if I want to stay down that lane to see if we can have, trust, because it's like, I don't know if I like you yet. I'm still trying to figure out who you are as a person. And now if I get to you, who you are as a person, I'm feeling you and like, okay, you cool. Now I might dig deeper. But even with the dig deeper, I would never in my life think let me check for a marriage license. Now, maybe you should, but that's not my first thought when I'm dating somebody. Let me check for a marriage license.
So let me talk about that. Now, this is going to seem a little obscure, but it's a good analogy that I've used in the past, and I think that it makes sense for and it's fitting for something like this. So let me ask you a question. You have a calorie count?
You said, do I have a what? I couldn't hear you.
You have a calorie count? You ever calorie count?
Calorie count? No. You
So
talking
you
about
ever
calorie like
go?
working out?
Yeah, what you eat, your food.
Oh yeah, no. That's what I'm trying to make sure I'm saying, hearing what you're saying. No, I don't have one.
No, no, I'm saying, have you ever calorie counted? Like you look at your food and you're like, how many calories am I putting on? Because I ain't trying to gain
Oh
no weight.
yeah. I've done that. Yeah.
Okay, okay, you do that because you want to make sure that you're putting something healthy in your body, or not unhealthy enough to where it can mess your body up, give you diabetes and all that good stuff, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, before you eat it,
Right.
okay. And sometimes we go to places like McDonald's, and we've been to McDonald's a million times through our years. We've eaten unhealthy. We know that this is unhealthy for us, but what we do is we look at the menu and we try to pick the best, most appropriate unhealthy thing that we can eat because we're calorie counting. Because we're like, you know what, that Big Mac probably 1,300 calories, but let me get a quarter pounder because the quarter pounder is 900 calories, and I still get to taste that cheese, that meat, that salty, French fry at McDonald's, that craving, because that McDonald's fries and shit, so you like them, they taste good. But immediately after about 15 minutes, if you don't eat all your food and you go back to it and you realize that this is cold and hard as shit, and you even don't want to reheat it because it's disgusting, right? But you
Right.
calorie counted, correct? You made sure that
Mm-hmm.
that food was at least going to not make you too unhealthy. You just ate half of it. You know that, okay, I got half the calories, correct?
Right.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's unhealthy. Doesn't take away from that. But it's cut down and reduced some of the unhealthy attributes that you get from eating, McDonald's, correct?
Mm. Right.
Okay. Now, we'll talk about this. When you go to restaurants, you do things like people calorie count. People want to know the meal of the day, the du jour, if you want to know the day. And people also want to know when a waiter in a good restaurant comes to you, because there's a good restaurant and a bad restaurant. Bad restaurant, they give you a menu. They say, we'll be back. Let us know what you want. You come back. A good restaurant, an expensive one, they're going to come to you. That waiter is going to come to you. The first thing they're going to say the meal of the day, what they selling, and they'll also tell you what their best dishes are in either their opinion or the restaurant's opinion, what they're known for, right? That's that.
Mm.
When a woman goes to an expensive restaurant, she's treated a certain way. She can literally feel and see because she's educated. They teaching her everything. When you go to McDonald's, it's like you don't know what the fuck is in that food. You don't know if it's fresh or not. You don't know, but you still
Right.
taste it. Now let's talk about relationships. So I'm gonna tie this right in. If you are going to meet a man and you want to know what is healthy that you're putting in your body, you are putting his mind in your body, you're putting his spirit in your body, you're putting his body in your body, but you don't know what calories come with this man. You don't know if
Mm.
this man is going to make you unhealthy in 6 months of dealing with him straight, eating him every day, tasting him every day, bringing him into your soul every day. You don't know in 6 months if you're going to have a heart attack. But you
Right.
overdose and you go dive into this man so much, you eat him so much because you care so much that now you intoxified your body. But
Mm-hmm.
you didn't do your due diligence in the beginning to find out what you were putting in your body. But
Right.
yet, I see more women that are more apt to say, if I take a woman to McDonald's, I don't eat McDonald's. Why would you take me to McDonald's? Do I look like a McDonald's woman? Well, let's talk about that when it comes down to matters of relationships. Are you a McDonald's woman? And how do you know what you're eating if you don't know what you're putting in your mouth? But you're well willing because the person just told you, here's this Big Mac, here you go, go and take this.
Right.
Okay, you don't know what it's gonna do to you in 6 months, but eat it every day and just take it. Okay. Now, even if it tastes different every single day, it might taste bland today. Sometimes Big Macs, make them different every day. The fries sometimes come good and hot. Some days they don't. But the fact is, you're still eating that unhealthy food no matter what is what you're doing. And this is what women do with men. And why men don't do this with women. We don't do that. We know what we eat. So we know if it's an Instagram model, we already know the ingredients. Okay, she coming with a bad body. Don't know about this motherfucker's mindset. Don't give a shit because she got one of the ingredients of the dish that I want. Outwardly, I can see it. Okay. When a man talks to a woman, within 15 minutes, we know, okay, I'm gonna go and smash this and grab this because we've already evaluated. We know what we put in our body. And by the way, if a woman cheats on a man, we know automatically that shit tastes disgusting. We get rid of that motherfucking shit. We don't fucking put it back in our mouths after we figured out that it was disgusting as shit. Because we weighed, we measured it, it tastes good at one point. Now that shit don't taste good, and we don't want that shit, so we go get another motherfucking meal. Even if it's bad fast food again, and we go from KFC and we KFC hop until we meet a restaurant, until we go to a restaurant, finally stopping with fast food, and we more mature enough that we say we worth more than that corner store Chinese and McDonald's. We say we want to up our ante and get mature enough and built enough to go get us a good restaurant and get us a nice, good, wholesome meal that we know is going to be healthy. We ate it every day, but we can't eat every day because we can't do that, or can we? Now, this is men when we think about women. So,
all right. So,
women get hurt more than men.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question is, even though those are good analogies, the one thing was you were like, she could have looked up the marriage license, this and the other. When you meet a woman, is that the first thing you think of? Let me go look up a marriage license.
No, if a woman tells me that I am separated or I am divorced, first of all, if a woman tells me I'm separated, okay, well, I don't deal with separated anyway. I don't even deal because you're still married to me, and that man reserves the right to do whatever to me because you still his wife. Okay, if something happened to you right now, we're dating. No,
but let's say she doesn't tell you. Let's just say you're getting to know the female or whatever, and y'all everything is a good vibe. And then at the end of the day, you're like, so what's your deal? Like, are you seeing anybody? Are we just chilling or whatever? And she's like, oh no, I'm single. I've been single for X amount of years. At that point in time, she done lied her face off. She's married and never been divorced, nothing. But she's lying to you, saying she's single as hell. At that point,
are we talking about? First of all, I do my due diligence. I check up on you just because I'm not really checking up on you. I'm checking for myself. So somebody said that they divorced. I've actually had that happen where somebody say, yeah, I'm divorced. I said, oh, for real? I said, where would you marry that? Oh, I was married at such and such. Okay, because first of all, before I sleep with you, I'm going to know your whole name anyway. Let's start there. All I need is your full fucking name and your date of birth because I don't see how you sleep with somebody without knowing their birthday and their full name. That right there is hoism on both parts.
Do you ask for their social too? Do you ask for their social too?
You said what?
Do you ask for their social too?
No, I just need the first name and last name if I'm going to lay down with you.
Okay.
No, hell no, I don't need the social. I ain't claiming you on my taxes. I ain't claiming you on my taxes, but I do need to know at least your name.
Okay, all right.
Listen, do you know how many women that I've slept with? Listen, you know how many women that I slept with and I've gone to their house. I know exactly how to contact them if anything were to happen to me, right? I know exactly where I just went, right? And they don't know my name and my address.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. You don't know. I can leave you fucked up and you would never know. You don't know shit about me. Okay? So my thing is, yeah, I do believe in doing you. I do. I actually run checks. If you tell me that you were married, I'm going to make sure that I'm not blissful in you, and also at the same time, I'm sitting there ignorant at the same time.
Right.
Anyway, we got to wrap this up.
Yes, we do. But okay. But yeah, the point of the matter is we're identifying, who's a F-boy, who's a F-girl. And truth be told, I feel like we both are. Not us, not me, because I'm a relationship type of female. I don't do all that nonsense and that extracurricular. Like at the end of the day, if you're honest with me, I'm honest with you. We're gonna do it. We cool. If we not, then that's cool with me too. But I don't play the games. So are you a F-boy or a F-boy, sir?
What I will say is I have those F-boy tendencies if I so choose to dive into those. But what I will say is no matter if a person gives you a choice or not, my thing is you set expectations, boundaries, and for yourself and for others, and you can avoid both no matter if they are or not.
Well, there you have it, folks. You can like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or if you have a topic that y'all want to discuss, definitely, leave it in the comments. Make sure you follow us on, Facebook and YouTube, and we're also on Anchor, Spotify, and all that good stuff. So I saw the people that chimed in. I appreciate y'all joining in. Next time, I need y'all to comment because we want to interact with y'all. We want to know your opinions too. So we will see you next time, and make sure you support our sponsors, Singadoo at singadoo.com, and we will see you next week.